So today I'm going to be walking you through my process for making digital art. And I've made digital art in a lot of different styles, but I'm going to be showing you a style that I recently have done a bit of, which is kind of like a very graphical illustration type style. And let's go. I'm going to be drawing a bag of holding, which is a magic item from D&D. I'm working on putting together perhaps like a deck of cards of some art of different magic items that I might end up selling in the future. So let's get going. So we're going to pop over into Clip Studio Paint here and create a new file. I've got all the settings how I want them here. So we've got 7,000 by 7,000 pixels and 100 and just the maximum resolution you can do in this program. And paper color, we've got like sort of a light grayish type thing. Yeah, let's get going. So I'm gonna pop in here, and on my first layer, I'm gonna create a sketch. And now with digital art, you don't necessarily need a sketch, but I think it's a helpful thing to have, and it kind of helps you know where your drawing is going so that you can draw things in relation to the rest of the picture. So I'm just gonna block in the basic shape here of a bag with some handles. Kind of a satchel type bag, and I'll send just the handles off, send the strap off of the screen there. And I think generally this bag kind of is portrayed with a face on it, or the pictures that I've seen have a face. So there we've got the basic kind of block sketch lined in. So now we're going to create a layer, and we're going to start drawing things out. So this is going to be the bag, and I'm going to grab just a basic kind of round brush, round pen. It's the marker pen tool in Clip Studio Paint, but I have it set so that it has a bit of pressure sensitivity for the weight of the line. I'm going to get that in a decent medium-sized thing there. So now we're going to grab a color that we want to use for this, and then we're just going to lay in some basic dang it, there we go, lay in some basic color blockings. I'm actually going to put the sketch layer on top so we can see it through the color. If you got a nice space that's just easy to fill, you can just use the fill tool. There's no harm in that. Not gonna cause any trouble. It sometimes can create a little bit of a line if you zoom in here and you see that there's that little line there, but I believe that is because of the tolerance. I'm not sure. There is a way to get rid of that, but sometimes it interferes with other stuff. If you really don't like it, or if it really is causing trouble, you can just go in and just use the marker pen to go over that. Okay, there we go. So I think I want to do the slightly darker color here, just to find the different sections of the bag here. Oh. So when you've got the basic shape of your layer, so this is, I'm just gonna use this area right now. I'm gonna use the wand tool to select the outside of this, and I'm just going to create a mask. You can go up to layer and layer mask, or you can use this button here which will create a mask outside the selection. So you need to inverse the selection then. So whichever you want to do there. And then you can see, we just need to load it up here. You can see that when you draw, it'll stop at the edge of your shape when you have that mask on there. And you can see here over by the layer list, you can see that it tells you where your mask is. I'm going with a shadow color, and I just want to do this whole bottom section with shadow just to get some depth. We'll come back and add some highlights on the edge later. We've got some basic shapes here. Now we can get started with some highlights and details. I'm going to want to add back in, if you hold down Option or Alt on a Windows computer, then you can color pick where you want your color to be. So I'll just color pick the lighter color and start creating some nice highlights. You don't do little cool little shapes. Don't just do like a line. Make some cool little swirlies and things to make it look more interesting. Grab some highlights in there. Okay. And make sure to think about where the light's coming from. Usually, I'm kind of boring this way, but I will often put my light source kind of in the top left and have the light coming down like this. That's kind of just my default way of doing the light source. So I've always kind of had lighter highlights on this side and more shadows over here. That's just how I roll, I don't know. Let's grab a bit of a darker color. Oh, dang it. Use the sliders. Option. That's nice, okay. Let's get like a, oh, we're on the wrong layer, one sec. Let's just get a nice little whoosh. Get the shadow going underneath the lip here. Actually, if we put it along this edge, I think that'll make more realistic. So you just want to sort of slowly add in shadows and highlights wherever you think it is logical. And one thing you do in Clip Studio Paint is if you have two different colors set here, you can press X to switch between them, which is really useful if you're doing something that is with a set color palette. So just do some little details in the shadows and the highlights. Just whatever looks cool. We can lower the opacity on the sketch a little bit so we can see what we're doing. So you can see this start to come together. Yep. Just add some little stitches, little things here. And then if we go up to this part here, we can get an even lighter color and start adding some highlights on the lid. Awesome. And then if we bring back to this color, we can actually get some shadow along the other side here. So what is one area's highlight might be another area's shadow. Or rather here in this one, what is one area's highlight is another area's normal color. So the base color for the top is this medium, but that's the highlight color down here. And over here, this shadow color is the base color over here, if that makes any sense. And you could use different colors too. It doesn't have to be the same as one or the other. I think that's looking good. Maybe add some stitches along the top here. We'll do that in the next step. Okay, so now we have the basic kind of blocking for the bag part. I'm now gonna go up and just create another layer and do the same process for the handle. And I'll check back in with you when I am done that. Okay, so we've got the handle blocked in, and now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna add some details on the bag, like some stitching around the edge. I think I'm gonna make this. This is gonna be a little bit of a monotonous job, but we're just gonna go in really nice and close and put these little bits all along the edge. And I'm not sure if it'll look good, so we're just gonna try it out and see. Yeah, let's keep that. Get a little faster here. It's a little random. Good. Get the stitching all along. There we go. And then down here, use a dark color and stitch along the bottom. Just adding some detail, because detail really does a lot for a piece. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new layer, and I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna call this embroidery. And we're gonna go in, I don't know if I spelled that right, but we're gonna go in and we're gonna add all the kind of details on the bag and like add a face, like I was saying. So. And with this, I think I kind of want to add like a lot of different layered elements here. Oh dear. And sometimes you do that and you make everything blue. So I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna create another sketch layer. And I'm just gonna grab my pencil, and just try and sketch out where some more embroidering can go. So just lots of swirly lines and interlocking stuff. I'm kind of just making this up. I mean, obviously, I'm making everything up. What am I talking about? Everything that I do here is made up. And then we can go back to embroidery, grab a color, and start plopping it in there. So we've got kind of some patterns on here. I'm just going to add the teeth in quickly. We make the same color as the buckle. And this is a pretty quick, basic drawing. Like, you could add infinitely more detail here. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to grab the color of the bag, make a super small brush, and I'm just going to go in and make it look like there's actually thread that's kind of sewn in by breaking it up. Or maybe it's kind of a material that's been sewn on. This is pretty long and tedious process, so I'm just going to speed up the video and come along for the ride. Every once in a while, remember to just zoom out and take a look at your composition as a whole so that you don't forget what you're doing. In Clip Studio Paint, there's also this window up here that you can have open that gives you your where you are in the page and all kind of the details. So that's where the piece is at right now. Then I'm going to go back in and add some more shadows on the bag underneath some of these areas. Like if we want to put some by the buckle here. That'll do nicely. Yeah. I think I'm liking how this is looking. I'm not entirely sure what I want to keep adding. I'm maybe just going to go and add a few more highlights and shadows on the bag just to bring the detail level a little bit higher to compete with this very detailed area here. I'm definitely liking how this is looking. Just been going in, adding a few very small details here and there, just to bring the detail level a little higher so it's not quite so bland. Go on the handle here. And there it is. That's my picture. This is a pretty simple picture, but I hope it gave you a good idea of this process, and when you're drawing in this style, simple pictures can sometimes be the best. And this rough pattern works for whatever style of digital art you're doing. Of course, if you're doing more painterly, you need to do more rendering and different types of rendering. I don't do a lot of that when I'm doing digital, but I think this one turned out pretty well. We could, of course, add some kind of background, but I think this will be sufficient for now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're having a good week. Peace.